Have you ever noticed how something we've done for most of our lives without thinking can suddenly become a hidden risk as we get older? Daily bathing is one of those habits. For decades, many of us were taught that a shower or bath every day was the gold standard of cleanliness and health. It felt refreshing, it signaled productivity, and it was tied to a sense of order. But as the body ages, the relationship we have with hygiene changes, and what was once harmless, even beneficial, can sometimes become harmful if it's overdone. The skin is the first place this shift becomes obvious. It's not just a covering, it's a living organ, constantly renewing itself and protecting us from bacteria, viruses, and toxins. With age, the skin thins, it loses elasticity, and its ability to produce natural oils decreases. These oils are like a protective barrier, keeping moisture in and shielding us from irritants. When we bathe every day, especially with hot water and soaps that strip oils away, that barrier weakens. The result is dryness, itching, irritation, even cracks that can invite infection. For a younger person, the skin recovers quickly. For someone in their 70s or 80s, recovery takes longer and the risk of complications grows. But there's another hidden layer to this story, literally. On the surface of the skin lives a microscopic ecosystem of bacteria, fungi, and other microbes. It's easy to hear bacteria and think of danger, but most of these organisms are actually working for us. They compete with harmful microbes, they interact with our immune system, and they help keep the skin balanced. Daily bathing with strong soaps disrupts this ecosystem. It's like clear-cutting a forest every single day. The natural defenses are stripped away and the skin becomes more vulnerable, not less. Researchers have found that this disruption of the microbiome can even influence immune health, because the skin is not just a barrier, it's a messenger to the rest of the body. Beyond the skin, there are physical risks tied to the act of bathing itself. Bathrooms are among the most dangerous rooms in the house for seniors. Water, smooth tile, soap, these combine to create slippery conditions. A daily bath means a daily exposure to fall risk, and falls in older adults are not small setbacks. They can lead to broken hips, hospitalizations, and a cascade of health declines that might take months or years to recover from. One fall can change the course of someone's independence forever. None of this means bathing should be avoided altogether. Hygiene is important, but the unseen risks of bathing daily remind us that balance matters. A rigid habit that once made sense in one season of life may not serve us in another. As we get older, the goal shifts from doing more to doing smarter, protecting the skin, protecting the body, and preserving safety without giving up the dignity and comfort that bathing brings. When we look at the science, when we look at the lived experiences of older adults, we realize that daily bathing may not be a necessity, and in some cases, it may even be a hidden threat. When we think about bathing, most of us immediately picture soap, water, and a feeling of being refreshed. But beneath that simple ritual lies a far more complex system: our skin and its microbiome. The skin is not just a shell that covers the body. It's alive. It breathes, and it houses trillions of microorganisms that play a surprisingly important role in our health. For decades, we've been taught that the goal of bathing is to scrub away germs and dirt. Yet the truth is, not all microbes are enemies. Many of them are guardians. Imagine your skin as a thriving community, almost like a forest. In that forest, certain plants protect the soil, others provide food for wildlife, and together they create balance. If that balance is disrupted, if too many trees are cut down or the soil is stripped of nutrients, the forest becomes vulnerable to invasion and collapse. The same is true for your skin's microbiome. Daily bathing, especially with harsh soaps, removes natural oils and strips away beneficial bacteria. This leaves the skin exposed, more fragile, and ironically, more open to harmful pathogens. As we age, this delicate balance becomes even more important. The skin produces fewer natural oils, making it drier and less resilient. Without its protective oils, the skin is like a cracked shield. Microtears and dryness invite infections, which can spread more easily in older adults, whose immune systems may not respond as robustly as they once did. Something as simple as daily washing can tip the scales, leading to rashes, eczema, or persistent itching that affects comfort, sleep, and overall quality of life. And then there's the role of the immune system. Studies have shown that the skin microbiome isn't just a passive layer, it communicates with immune cells, training them, guiding them, and helping the body distinguish between harmless and harmful invaders. When we strip the skin daily, we weaken that conversation. Over time, this can increase the likelihood of inflammation and decrease the body's ability to mount strong, appropriate defenses. In other words, over-cleansing does not make us safer. In many cases, it makes us more vulnerable. The irony is that the very habit we once believed to be the cornerstone of hygiene, bathing every day, can end up weakening the very systems we rely on for protection. For younger adults, the body often compensates, the skin replenishes oils more quickly, the microbiome recovers, and the immune system remains robust. But for seniors, the recovery is slower, and the margin for error is much smaller. That's why moderation becomes so important. Instead of daily baths, many experts now recommend bathing 2 to 3 times a week for older adults, while maintaining daily spot cleaning for areas that need it. This allows the skin to retain its protective oils, keeps the microbiome intact, and still maintains personal comfort and hygiene. It's not about abandoning cleanliness. It's about redefining it in a way that aligns with the body's changing needs. When you understand the skin as a living, breathing organ with its own ecosystem, bathing takes on a new meaning. It's no longer just about washing away what we see on the surface. It's about preserving the unseen defenses that keep us healthy, balanced, and resilient. When we think about the risks of daily bathing, it's easy to focus only on the skin. But there's another layer of risk that is often overlooked, and it has nothing to do with microbes or dryness. It has to do with the very act of bathing itself and the environment where it takes place. For older adults, the bathroom can be one of the most dangerous rooms in the entire home. What used to be a routine, almost mindless activity can slowly become a source of hidden danger. Slippery floors, wet tiles, and soap underfoot create conditions that would challenge anyone's balance. Add to this the natural changes that occur with age: reduced muscle strength, slower reflexes, decreased vision, and changes in balance. And suddenly, the bathroom becomes a high-risk zone. A daily shower or bath isn't just about cleansing anymore. It's about facing a potential hazard every single day. Falls are not minor incidents. For seniors, one slip in the bathroom can lead to broken bones, head injuries, or hip fractures. And unlike in younger years, the recovery from these injuries is often long, complicated, and sometimes incomplete. A single fall can begin a chain reaction: hospitalization, reduced mobility, loss of independence, and in some cases, the need for long-term care. It's sobering to realize that something as simple as bathing too often might increase the frequency of these risks, simply by putting someone in harm's way more often than is necessary. The bathroom also presents unique challenges because of its design. Smooth tiles, glossy bathtubs, and water pooling on the floor all create conditions that make slips more likely. Hot water and steam can lower blood pressure temporarily, making dizziness or fainting more common. Combine that with quick movements, bending down to wash, standing up too fast, or reaching for soap, and the risk multiplies. These are not theoretical dangers. Hospitals see thousands of cases every year from bathroom-related accidents in seniors, many of which could have been prevented. So what does this mean in practical terms? It means we need to rethink not just how often we bathe, but also how we bathe. Safety modifications like grab bars, non-slip mats, shower chairs, and handheld shower heads can dramatically reduce risks. But equally important is adjusting frequency. If an older adult only needs a full bath or shower 2 or 3 times a week to stay clean and comfortable, then reducing the number of exposures to this risky environment makes sense. It's not about avoiding hygiene, it's about balancing hygiene with safety. Daily bathing is a habit ingrained in many of us, but habits have to adapt to new realities. As the body changes, so must our routines. What was once a symbol of freshness and vitality can slowly become an unnecessary hazard if we don't pause and reassess. For seniors, reducing the number of full baths doesn't mean giving up dignity or cleanliness. It means prioritizing health and safety, preserving energy, and protecting independence for as long as possible. And when you see it through that lens, the decision to step away from daily bathing is not a loss at all, it's a form of wisdom. When it comes to bathing, one of the greatest challenges for older adults is finding the balance between staying clean and not overdoing it. For much of life, the idea of hygiene is tied to routine. Wake up, shower, start the day. That rhythm becomes ingrained, almost like brushing our teeth or having breakfast. But as the body ages, the equation changes, the skin is thinner, energy levels are different, and the risks of slips and injuries are greater. At this stage of life, the question becomes less about how often should I bathe, and more about what level of bathing actually keeps me healthy without placing unnecessary stress on my body. The truth is, hygiene is not an all-or-nothing concept. It's not a choice between daily showers and no showers at all. There is a middle ground, one that honors both the dignity of staying fresh and the wisdom of protecting the body. For many older adults, bathing 2 to 3 times per week, combined with daily spot cleaning of key areas, is more than enough to maintain good hygiene. The underarms, groin, face, and hands, these are the areas most important to keep clean on a daily basis. A warm cloth or gentle wipe can do the job effectively without stripping away natural oils or exposing someone to bathroom hazards as frequently. Finding this balance also means rethinking what clean really means. Modern culture has tied the idea of freshness to fragrance, soaps, and a squeaky clean feeling, but real cleanliness is about health, not perfume. It's about removing sweat, bacteria, and dirt, where it matters most, while still respecting the skin's natural oils and microbiome. For older adults, less can truly be more. Fewer baths can mean healthier skin, fewer chances of falls, and less fatigue from a process that can sometimes feel exhausting. There's also a mental component here. Some seniors feel embarrassed if they aren't showering every day, as if they're not keeping up with social expectations. Families and caregivers sometimes reinforce this pressure. But part of supporting older adults is reframing the conversation. Bathing less frequently is not neglect. It's smart self-care. It's adapting to the body's needs rather than forcing the body to meet an outdated standard. When hygiene routines are aligned with health, the result is comfort, safety, and peace of mind. At the same time, balance requires flexibility. Some days may call for more, after exercise, time outdoors, or a particularly hot day. Other days, rest might be more important than a full shower. Listening to the body and being willing to adjust is key. Just as nutrition changes with age and sleep patterns shift, hygiene practices also evolve. The healthiest routines are those that respond to real needs, rather than rigid schedules. So the balance between functionality and hygiene is really about respecting both sides of the equation. It means acknowledging the importance of cleanliness for dignity, comfort, and social connection, while also honoring the body's limits and protecting it from unnecessary risks. That balance is not only practical, it's empowering. It shows that growing older is not about giving things up, but about living wisely, choosing carefully, and protecting the health that allows us to keep enjoying life. Bathing is never just about soap and water. It is also about how it makes us feel. For many older adults, the psychological and emotional side of bathing is just as important as the physical. A warm shower can bring comfort, a sense of order, and even a feeling of dignity, but at the same time, it can also create stress, fear, or resistance, depending on the circumstances. Understanding the mental and emotional layers of this routine helps us see why bathing frequency should not be viewed only through the lens of hygiene. For some, bathing daily feels tied to identity. It is a ritual that signals being presentable, active, and engaged with life. If someone has been showering every morning for 50 or 60 years, reducing that frequency can feel like a loss of self. They might think, if I'm not showering every day, am I really taking care of myself? These thoughts matter because self-perception affects mood, confidence, and even social interactions. In this way, the habit of daily bathing is not just about physical cleanliness, it is also about maintaining a sense of normalcy and pride. On the other hand, bathing can become a source of anxiety for older adults, especially those with limited mobility or health conditions. The thought of stepping into a slippery tub or standing under running water for too long may trigger fear of falling, fatigue, or discomfort. For some, the process itself is overwhelming. The temperature changes, the bending and reaching, the exertion. In these cases, the psychological burden of bathing can outweigh its benefits. This is one reason why some seniors resist showering, not out of neglect, but out of genuine fear or exhaustion. Routine also plays a powerful role. Humans are creatures of habit, and routines give structure to our days. Bathing can serve as a cue for other activities, getting dressed, eating breakfast, or preparing to go out. When routines are disrupted, it can feel unsettling, even disorienting. This is particularly true for those living with cognitive decline or dementia. For them, the act of bathing can become confusing or frightening, making it essential to approach the process with patience, reassurance, and sometimes creativity. Adjusting the routine, like shifting to evening baths, shortening the process, or using warm cloths instead, can preserve comfort while avoiding distress. Caregivers also play a role in this psychological equation. Sometimes, family members push for daily baths because of their own standards of cleanliness, not realizing that this pressure can create tension and unnecessary conflict. Reframing the conversation is important. When caregivers understand that hygiene for seniors is about maintaining health, dignity, and comfort, not rigid schedules, they can support routines that reduce stress rather than increase it. The key is to view bathing not just as a physical act, but as an emotional and mental experience. For some, fewer baths with more focus on comfort will feel liberating. For others, maintaining the ritual, even if modified, is essential for confidence. The most important thing is flexibility, respecting the individual's feelings, adapting to their needs, and finding a rhythm that protects both body and mind. When bathing is approached with this broader perspective, it becomes more than a task, it becomes an opportunity to support both health and humanity. When we recognize that daily bathing may not be the best choice for older adults, the next question naturally becomes, what are the practical alternatives? How can we maintain cleanliness, dignity, and comfort while minimizing the risks that come with overbathing? The answer lies not in abandoning hygiene, but in reshaping it, using smarter strategies and safer methods that respect both the needs of the body and the realities of aging. One of the most effective alternatives is spot cleaning. Rather than going through the full process of a bath or shower every day, older adults can use a warm washcloth or pre-moistened wipes to clean specific areas that tend to accumulate sweat or bacteria. The underarms, groin, feet, and face are the most important. A few minutes of gentle cleaning in these areas is often enough to maintain freshness and prevent odor. This approach reduces strain on the body, preserves the skin's natural oils, and avoids the hazards of slippery floors. Another strategy is the use of sponge baths. This involves sitting comfortably and using a basin of warm water with mild soap to cleanse the body gradually, without the need to step into a shower or bathtub. For those with limited mobility, sponge baths can provide a sense of refreshment, while also being safer and less tiring. Caregivers often find this method easier to assist with, and older adults appreciate the reduced risk and effort involved. For those who still enjoy the feeling of a shower, safety modifications can make a world of difference. Installing grab bars near the shower or tub, using non-slip mats, and adding a sturdy shower chair transform the bathroom from a danger zone into a safer environment. A handheld shower head allows for better control, reducing awkward movements and the risk of losing balance. Even something as simple as ensuring good lighting in the bathroom can prevent accidents by helping seniors see clearly where they are stepping. It's also worth considering the timing and frequency of bathing. Instead of making it a rigid daily event, baths or showers can be scheduled at times of day when energy is highest and balance is better, often in the morning or early afternoon. Bathing 2 or 3 times per week, combined with daily spot cleaning, is usually sufficient for hygiene while dramatically reducing exposure to risks. Moisturizing after bathing is another important measure. Using gentle fragrance-free lotions helps restore the skin's protective barrier, preventing dryness and cracks that can invite infection. This simple habit supports both comfort and long-term skin health. Finally, the conversation around alternatives should always include dignity. For many older adults, the idea of bathing less often can feel like giving something up. But when we frame it differently, shifting from doing less to doing smarter, it becomes an empowering change. It's not about lowering standards. It's about protecting independence, conserving energy for activities that bring joy, and staying safe in one of the most accident-prone areas of the home. Practical alternatives and safety measures remind us that hygiene is not just about routine, it's about adapting wisely to the body's changing needs. By choosing thoughtful adjustments, older adults can stay clean, comfortable, and confident without sacrificing safety. In many ways, these small changes are not simply about bathing, they're about preserving quality of life. So if you've ever thought that staying clean means sticking to the same daily habits you've always known, take this as an invitation to rethink. True health and true dignity come not from rigid routines, but from flexible, wise choices that honor the body at every stage of life. Share this with someone you care about, because sometimes the smallest change can make the biggest difference.